Okay, fantastic. Okay, so good morning. Last time, good morning to our, which is really an at your core session, which is entitled Befriending Me. It's about becoming our best friend. And I'm going to go really quickly through this. So if there's anything you don't understand, you will just let me know. But it's on screen so you all can see everything that's going on. All right. What is befriending me? It's about being your own best friend. And really, I'm looking at it from the body and mind, because the body sends the messages to the mind to let us know what's going on, whether we're in a safe zone, and whether we can relax, or whether we need to be stressed out and say, what's the stress? It's a good thing, because if a lion was chasing us, we would have to run away. If we didn't know that we needed to be scared, we would just stay there and be eaten alive, and then we wouldn't be here today. So actually, stress is a good thing, but we need to manage it and not be overstressed and not be chronically stressed. And we find this happens a lot, whether it's going back, and you will see with what I am doing here today, it could be going back with something that we stressed about in our childhood, something we were exposed to, something we were exposed to in adolescence, something we were exposed to in our adult life. And our body, as I can never say his name, Van der Hoff says, the body keeps the score. So it remembers the muscles, the membranes, the cells. We keep the score of these traumas. So we need to really regulate our bodies, and then it regulates the mind, the heart, the emotions, and the intuition. So we can learn to trust ourselves. And that's why I use that process of the acts of courage and flow, because what I want to do is I want us to become aware of where we are. Okay, I want us to really connect with our bodies and let the minds know that it can trust our decisions, so that we can surrender to being our best selves and not always be living in a sense of overwhelm and tension and anxiety or fear. Okay. And even if we are high functioning, highly creative, highly productive, highly accomplished people, and I say that because everybody has a reference point to what you consider highly. It doesn't have to be what I consider it. Everybody's highly accomplished because you are alive. And if we just think of what goes on in our body every single minute, hello, we are highly productive. Hello, we are high functioning. Okay, so we have to give ourselves a little break as well. And this is what this session is about, for saying, you know, we've got this, we're doing quite well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Being your best friend and not having to rely on other people to acknowledge our grandeur. I don't want to say greatness, because it makes us feel a sense of, oh, I'm better than something. It's not about that. It's about feeling that we're in a grand design. So we need to recognize that and just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so saying all of that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because you've probably seen enough of me, and just welcome to the session, what we are doing. And of course, we are at Befriending Me. Can everybody see my screen now? I'm just sharing from a PDF, from the PDF I shared. Hands up, everybody, yes? Can see. Yeah, if not, obviously unmute and say, I can't see. Okay, and you've seen this because I've been promoting it with this slide, with this graphic. Okay, forgive me if I lose my words sometimes. Highly creative people. I'm not calling on dementia or anything, or senior moments. It's just highly creative people. We can all say that, right? Don't call anything on to us. Okay, so somebody is asking me something. I can't hear you. You can't hear me anymore. Is everybody not hearing me anymore? Or is everybody hearing me? Thumbs up. Everybody's hearing me.
Just fine.
Okay, great stuff. Somebody's not hearing me. Just check, maybe when you muted, you might have muted the mic. Put your mic off instead of muting your volume. You might have put my mic off. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear someone.
If you can hear me, I have unmuted and I still can't hear you.
Go to speaker. If you go to speaker, and you will see maybe same as system.
Speaker.
Go to the left on, and you see where you see your mic, or little right, a little arrow, and it gives you a menu.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so maybe you've
Oh,
muted
I see
something
it.
here.
Well, I'm on. Okay,
Okay,
great.
great stuff. Okay, I tell you,
I'm
I'm
going
getting
back
so.
to unmute. I'm going
Okay,
back to unmute because I have construction workers around, and it's
okay.
just it'll
No,
be too much audio for you
yes,
guys.
no problem. You mute when you need to say and share. We're going to unmute whoever needs to share.
Okay, all right.
But then otherwise, it's
Okay.
always disturbing everybody. It's not a problem. Everybody's happy for that. Okay, so this is what I was just explaining to you all about the acts of surrender and connecting with your body. Okay, so we're going to go right in to our little bit of self-care work and connecting with ourselves. So the first thing I want us to do is warm up everybody's attention. Okay, even for this spot, I think I can go ahead and go back to my view. I can stop sharing because it's much nicer to share with everybody. Okay, and I'm going to put you back on gallery view. Okay, so everybody who can put on their screens, go ahead and rub those hands of ours. Get a nice bit of energy going on here. And if we have glasses on, let's go ahead and take off those glasses. And let's get that energy, just feel that vibration as we just place the hands over the eyes and the third eye. So making a little triangle with those hands. And you can literally feel that vibration going. And you're going to take a nice deep breath into the nose. And just open your mouth and give me a big ah. Ah. Big breath in. Ah. So we're getting that. Do that another 3 times for me. We're getting that nice deep breath in, but deep, slow breath out. Ah. And then shorten the breath, not so deep and not too full. Just shorten it a little bit. Ah, long exhale. Shorten it a little bit. And deep breath out. Ah. Beautiful. Let's go 2 more times. Inhale. And deep breath out. Ah. Now let's float those arms down. Take a little breath in. And deep breath out. Ah. And then now let's just regulate that. Just take a nice, slow, gentle breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly out. Completely out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that 4 more times for me. And while you do that, eyes are closed. I'm just going to talk you through that. And as you're taking that breath in, feel the scalp just relaxing off the skull. And just breathing out. Feel your palate of your mouth just relaxing, the tongue away from it. Feel that sensation of the face relaxing, the head relaxing. As you engage into that palate release, feel the length of the neck start relaxing. And as you're breathing out, go ahead and relax that throat, neck, shoulders. Say that, ah, because you allow the throat to release. You catch your voice again. And then continuing that breath, and really, let's place our hand on our solar plexus, just on the bottom of the breastbone. And just feel that release into the respiratory diaphragm. Completely release. Just as you're breathing, just allow the pelvic floor now to release. Ah. And then if you can place your feet on the floor, if your legs are crossed, that's fine. Just become aware of your knees and your feet. Big release. Ah. Then opening your eyes and just find something in front of you. I have some flowers in front of me. Find something that you can appreciate in front of you. It may be the wall. It may be your laptop. It may be a meal, maybe a cup of coffee. Just something that you can be grateful for because your body is here. You can breathe. You can have a sensation of your body touching it. Touch different parts of your body. We can be grateful for that. We can be grateful for the 4 walls around us. We can be grateful that we have a moment. Grateful that we can go to the gym. Grateful that we can get a glass of juice. Grateful that we can pick a mango. Grateful that we can have a family to give us space for this moment. Whatever is your reality, grateful that we can have construction workers. You know, sometimes you think of the stress involved in those things, but we don't think of the gratitude around them. If we just focus on that gratitude, can we see how instead of it being a stress or an overwhelm, we can actually feel good about these things that could be so-called overwhelms or stresses, yeah? Yeah, just touching areas that may be tension areas. Maybe we may have tension areas in the neck. Go ahead and just turn the head to one side. And then turning to the other side. And then turning the chin down. And then lifting the chin. Just opening up there. Looking up to the ceiling. Oh my gosh. I have a sky above me. I have a roof above me. Sorry, I even get emotional saying that. I mean, those of you who've been through hurricanes and stuff can know how thankful it is, how grateful you must be. But even just a roof over our heads, yeah? Think about relatives who may not be as blessed as we are. Now, bringing your eyes back to that spot in front of you, that horizon point. Beautiful. And I want you to think of those connections, ladies, okay? And I'm just going to put my screen on speaker view just so that the people that are on Facebook can get connection with what I'm saying. And I'm going to stand up and do this next thing. You can stand if you want. You can stay seated if you want, okay? It's up to you, completely up to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand now and I'm just going to explain, and I want you to really feel this through when I'm talking about them. I'm just going to move the screen a little bit so I have more space. I talked about the head, the palate, the throat, the respiratory diaphragm, the pelvic floor, the knees, and the feet. And if you want to stand up and feel these connections, I'm going to explain to you why we need to connect with these. So important to get the foundation of our bodies. Feet are flat, even if you're sitting down. Open those feet. Think we have 10 toes if you have 10 toes. If you only have 9 or 8 or 5, go ahead and feel what you have. Send the sensation to what you have. I can't be making a blanket statement because nobody is perfect, yeah? Oh, everything is relative. Send that sensation of being grounded, feeling a sense of being grounded, rooted, sense of place, a sense of belonging, and say thank you. Now that's the first arch, the first diaphragm, the feet. So you can swiggle those legs and feel the feet. As I rise up onto the balls of the feet and go back down, I can wake up the diaphragm of the feet. It sends a message to say, guess what? I have a ground to stand on. It's not unstable. I can start to release any stress in that area. I can feel the flexibility of my knees as I rise and fall. And as I squat to say, am I strong? Some of us are holding tension in our knees, fears. It manifests in knee problems, manifests in shoulder problems, manifests in hip problems, manifests in feet. We have a problem with the foot. Yeah, think about those things and release. Just release it and just say thank you that you have a foot to hurt, and then release the hurt. Think about the pelvic floor. Think about lifting that pelvic floor. We must use that pelvic floor. We must release it and lift. These are the sort of things we do in our Pilates sessions, where we work into connecting into that core, pulling that pelvic floor up, getting a base for all of your organs, getting them to exercise circulation in that region, the creative zone. When it circulates freely, we are free to express our intuition and our creativity. We don't have to care what people think about what we want to do. We don't have to care because we know, okay, I've got this. I've got this. We're going with this. So think about those connections. So we have a junction here, really important, ladies. I want you to rub your diaphragm region, your solar plexus, and just behind the breastbone is your heart. Yeah? So when we breathe, we connect with the heart. The muscles allow the heart to pump up and down. Yeah? If we hold our breath, we go into tension. If we breathe too quickly, then the heart starts pumping too quickly. Yeah? If we breathe slowly, the heart knows it just has to go slowly. so we can regulate ourselves. If we know we need to get excited, look, construction guys are coming, or we need to write a book, or we need to do something that needs focus, we can go, we get hyped. Okay, heartbeat races up. We start feeling creative. Yes, I can get more flow to my brain. So we need to get that induced stress. Are we getting this? Yeah, hands up, thumbs up, yeah? We need sometimes to induce a level of controlled, managed stress. Yeah, but when we don't need it, something is bothering us, we can stop, pray, meditate, listen, surrender, and let the intuition, let the divine potential, let the divine messages flood us. Give us that message of where we need to be and what we need to do, and that we need to trust ourselves. So this diaphragm also is a junction where the upper part of the body is actually linking with the lower part of the body. Very important that we release the areas of the deep psoas that connect into through the pelvic floor and connect into the legs, muscles of flight. Yeah. So it's very important that we connect pelvic floor, diaphragm, throat, and we release and we get that coherence with the breath and with the movement. So if you're sitting down, it's okay. If you're standing up, open the feet slightly and just take a breath. Opening yourself. Feel the shoulders relaxing into the shoulder mechanics and breathe it down. Because what's happening around the throat junction as well is the shoulder mechanics, the mid-back mechanics. When we do those rolls with the arms, we think it's just an exercise in class, but I'm actually allowing you to access the freedom of these junctions so that we maintain that coherence throughout, right? Keep going. We're just maintaining that coherence throughout. Okay, we want to reach up. If it's okay with your back, roll forward. You can reach for your laptop, reach for your desk. You can reach forward, opening through that mid-back, pulling up into that belly, stretching into those thoracic vertebrae that are tight, between the shoulder blades that are tight. Release the neck that's tight and float that down. Shake those arms out and coming back up. Just don't try to swallow when you're upside down, okay, ladies? Happens to me every day. Okay, and let's take a nice breath. And then reaching, pull that tummy in, reaching over, just feeling that stretch, soften those knees, feeling that tailbone, let that pelvic floor relax a little bit, neck relax, and coming all the way up. Let's do that one more time. You don't have to be standing, you can be sitting down right there. You can even be lying down. Just lift your head and reach for your toes and feel that stretch all the way from the bras, drop the waist, scooping. If you want to go ahead and touch your toes, if you're standing up, you can. And then releasing that all the way up. And let's just take the arms to the side and let's sweep the body to the side. Let's look behind us. Guess what's happening? We're rotating that mid-back. And as we open our eyes and do that, what's happening as well is we're scanning our environment to know that we're safe while we are releasing into that thoracic spine, releasing into that diaphragm, releasing into the hips, stretching your abdominals. And if you just keep those pelvis as still as you can really feel it's just the rib cage rotating on the chair. Now, even if you are at your desk in the day, you just hold on to the chair, you just hold around the chair and just feeling that, just allowing your body to release. And don't forget your lateral. You can just, even if you don't want people to know, just do as if you're scratching your head. Sometimes you're in the office and just feel, I'm just reaching for my pen that dropped. I'm reaching that up. Some of us don't have to go to the office anymore because of COVID, but you know something? I always say, who the hell cares what you're doing? Once you're doing something healthy for your body and you're not hurting anyone. I mean, what's the big deal, It's too much we care about other people sometimes, what they think. And we stay unhealthy. We put everybody else first. And, I was explaining to my niece about being your best friend and not always putting your children ahead of you, but being your first healthy self. Some mothers are really, really great moms, and they don't let their children put them first. So for those of you guilty of that, but you still have great children. So that's something you can say you're grateful for anyway, even if you don't have time for yourself. You know, you always get the payback after. So let's just do one last roll of those shoulders. And let's take a nice deep breath. Very nice. So how are you guys feeling with that? I'm going to take me off speaker view so I can get a little feedback from you guys. How did that feel for you? You got a thumbs up. I'm getting some thumbs up. And it's not much, especially after the gym, right? It's nice to just breathe it out. I'm getting some thumbs up. Okay,
That's
great.
Very relaxing and refreshing.
Oh, great. Thank you, Carolyn. Put that in the chat too. Very relaxing and very refreshing. So this
Carla, I just wanted to say that I think that you draw some really great pictures with your words. So for those of us who don't, who are not into biology and anatomy and those things, just the way you sort of connect kind of the upper dantian and the lower dantian, you know, you're talking about the energy from the diaphragm through the pelvic floor. They're really beautiful pictures of like why we should stand with our tailbones tucked and our crowns to the sky. Like you really made me conscious of how important posture is, not just because it looks good, but because it sends the right message to the rest of my body.
Well, look at how
that was really good.
Look at how perfectly you've said that, Hillary. And that's why I love the sharing, because the way I say something, Hillary got it well, but just her reiterating is thank you, you know, really, because I didn't even think, I'm just thinking of what I would want to feel, how I want you to feel it, you know, so thank you for saying that. And I must be even more mindful of that as well. Okay, really good to take this time out. But yes.
One of the great things I've got from this, Carla, is well, a mantra: shoulders down. I realize that I'm stressed a lot of the time, and I've actually got my shoulders up. Even when I'm driving, I just remind myself shoulders down, and immediately that has a really calming effect.
Yeah, so important. And I wanted to move on, but the one thing I wanted to really express to you ladies is that a lot of times when we are standing upright, we think the upright means to thrust your chest forward. But remember, I always talk about a long back, strong front. Yeah, you know, Brené Brown talks about soft, what did she say? Strong back, soft front. Did she say that? Soft heart, yeah, Brené Brown. And I sort of took that from her, because when I teach, I always want you to think of lengthening your back and strengthening the front, so then you lengthen the vertebra. Because as we age, you know, we get loose fluids and the vertebra crush onto each other. So we need to always lengthen through the back and hold the rib cage in so that you get this sensation. So I can stand like that. My natural posture is to stand like that, right? So I want to pull my rib cage down so that I can get that core contraction, length here, yeah, and strength in the front. And that just also helps you to flatten your tummy when you think of those connections as well. And it supports your visceral organs, yeah, all the viscera of the body. It supports you, supports your back. So it's just really important. So thank you also for saying that, because you can't do that unless your shoulder blades are slid down your back and your rib cage is melted nicely. So thanks, Pam, for bringing that up, that I should reiterate that, okay? Okay. So,
Carla, I just noticed, sorry to interrupt. I just noticed that someone said they can't hear you. I'm not sure if that was dealt with already. Looks like Juliet. But that's about.
Yeah, we dealt with it when I told her to go to the mic.
Okay.
Yes, I think we did. But thank you so much, Cora, because I need you to do that. Please keep supporting me. Okay, so what I wanted to do now, because what we're becoming aware. So we became aware of our bodies, okay? Remember, shoulders attached to thoracic. So sometimes we have a lot of ideas there, Pam, lots of things to express, overwhelmed with that. So we do this because we don't know how to. We feel, yeah, so this as well, open ourselves to feel free, find our voice. And that takes us to the next thing I wanted to share with you. Let me just make sure I have the right thing open. So what I wanted just to share together is just to become aware of what we are doing with our rituals, our daily rituals. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here again. And some of us know that I use something called the daily hymns. So we will just go through this quickly because it talks about our self-care. Hydration, how are we doing with our water? I like to say 2 to 3 liters of water a day. Okay, remember, I will share this. Look at her with a 1.5 liter next to her. Yes, yes. So find a glass. For me, this one is about 600. No, this one is 500 milliliters. No, a little bit less than that because a 750 bottle is filling this twice. So remember to measure glass. Keep drinking, especially as we age. As I said, remember the discs, these are actually fluid, so we need the water, okay, to keep our brain focused and our bodies healthy. Movement, we talk about 3 types of movement: sweat, strength, and stretch. Remember, we're not always talking about it having to be an hour at a time. It could literally be a 10-minute session, a 20-minute session, just finding something to do in your day, every day, every single day, 7 days a week. Yeah. So if, for instance, sorry, drink my water. If, for instance, you are busy, you have to go up the stairs or you need to go and do something, just park a little further from where you have to go. Take that extra trip up the stairs at home, you know, because maybe you have to bring some things upstairs or downstairs. Make 2 trips or do the stairs 2 at a time. You'd be surprised how that works your quads and your, oh, you know what I was going to say, your bum. So, you know, little things like that. Just use things to make and stretch, ladies. In the night, in bed, after you've had your shower, whatever, just stretch those hamstrings. Put the leg up, hold it with a strap or something. Stretch your shoulders, you know, do something. It doesn't mean that I'm not saying not to do your regular exercise, at least say 4 to 5 times a week, but try to do something even if you can't fit it in. Okay, 3 times a stretch. Meditation, prayer, at least let's say, even if you can do a 5 minutes. I'm on a wonderful Abundance Roots and Fruits with Hillary, and we get a weekly meditation, and it's beautiful. And I listen to her voice. I want to be fair, not every night. I attempt to, because we're supposed to doing it every day. I do try, so I think of Hillary every day. But it's good to have a ritual. I like to say rituals. And as growing up as Catholic, I think those of us who grew up in church, we grew up with those rituals that we can implement into our lives. It's very healthy to know that we have a routine and a ritual. Prayer, a lot of times, you know, we want to be doing our prayer, but we asking more than receiving. How many of us are guilty of that? Sometimes I'm so guilty of that myself, you know. You know, I do that prayer of Jabez, you know, bless me indeed and expand my territory, you know, keep me away from evil so I should not cause pain. But sometimes I just want to say, you know, I surrender and just pause in that meditation, you know, which is really beautiful. Then we talk about our nutrition, eating healthy, you know, as close to live as possible. You know, so eating things that are as live as possible, like your plants, you know, timing your meals, planning ahead. You know, it doesn't have to be something extravagant. But if we are doing our things in a routine, our bodies can understand what it's doing. If we are eating erratically, it means that the body does not know if we're fasting, if we're going to be in a famine, whether we should hold on to that and not expect the next meal. You know, how many of us are guilty of that? You know, even if it's just a small snack, a shake, something that is going to nourish you, you know, some jelly coconut, you know, something that tells your body I'm being nourished, you know, is really important. And this is the 2 last ones, the 2 S's of our daily hymns. Yes, a hymn, because, you know, your hymn is like a mantra. You're always singing something in the back of your head, right? So our skincare and our sleep. And I know the ladies that I work with consider skincare as being so important. And when I share it with them, they talk about what I have shared with them being so important because they never thought of skincare like their body brushing. Yeah, I'm just taking my daily hymns there. People just remember this is daily hymns we're talking about. Body brushing, dry brushing. Those of you who don't know, you get a natural fiber brush, okay? And I recommend that you do this, they say on a 3 weeks, they say you do that for 3 weeks, and then you give yourself like, let's say, a month and a half off or a month off, and then you do it again for 3 weeks. And you brush with the lymphatic system. So anti-gravity, long sweeping strokes, the soles of your feet, above your feet, same thing with your hands, everything towards the heart with your lymphatic system. So you help the drainage of the body. If we're struggling with tension areas, if we're struggling, not only you going to stretch while you're doing it, trying to reach every area of your body, but also you are taking all those junctions and helping those fluids to run through your body. So really, really beautiful sensation. Start gently, and then you can get firmer with the brush as you get accustomed to it. And boy, your skin glows, your skin gets so smooth. Just saying it, I'm getting goosebumps because I know how it feels so beautiful. Okay. And then using the time to moisturize. Why don't we use the time to moisturize as a time to stretch? You know, instead of just bending our leg and doing stretch to your toes, you know, that's an opportunity to stretch. And then we talk about sleep, guys. So I'm very, really guilty of that, being a raving insomniac. I'm blaming my baby sister because I slept with her in the same bed when we were kids. So I always say to her, oh, you were the one that taught me not to sleep because you were kicking me all night. But I know that some of us struggle with that. And also with menopause. How many of you have been struggling, you know, with sleep patterns disrupted? Anybody care to share that?
So yeah, I was gonna say this is year 2019. So I'm in year 2.5, basically. I've been officially menopausal. And initially it really messed with my sleep pattern. I am a delicious sleeper. I get my 8 hours. I'm religious about it. It makes me feel good. Otherwise, nobody can be around me. But it's true that with the hormonal dips and surges, it was interrupting my sleep. But I figured out just to kind of flow with it a bit, to keep my bedtime ritual. So bath in the evening or shower with some lavender, little incense, some candles. I have a playlist that's called Peaceful Sleep, Beautiful Rest. And I just play it, and I've sort of, like a Pavlovian dog, I've kind of trained myself to go down gently. Even if I'm not sleeping, I'm resting. Exactly. The room is dark, everything, and that seems to work. I seem to feel well rested. But after having come out of the, you know, the serious part of menopause, where before I used to need 8 hours, I think now I need maybe 6 to 6.5. Okay. But I get them. You know, I'm sure to get them. I just do the ritual. So the environment is conducive to sleep, even if my body sometimes takes a little while to fall asleep.
Exactly. And a lot of, like what I was saying about setting the scene and telling yourself, your mind, that you are in a safe environment and you can release. You know, I saw Pam shaking her head. I saw a lot of you shaking your heads. Maybe Tiffany's not at that phase yet, but it's also hormonal changes for you as well, Tiffany, as you are well, we know what's going on. And, you know, so we want to be aware of that as well, to be rested, to regulate our hormonal changes in our bodies and to guide that. You know, I also find, I don't know if it's available to some of you ladies, but to do that evening when I do not an afternoon. Sorry, somebody was just trying to come in, so I was wondering what was going on. To do an afternoon, what they call a power nap in the French islands. They have like a 2-hour lunch hour, lunch hours, you know, in Martinique and Guadeloupe. And I remember I always used to think that my parents were trying to copy those Guadeloupeans, but I realized that, you know, they just realized if you're working from early morning to late at night, because they were in the hospitality industry, they always had that afternoon siesta. And I find just going down for a 20 to 30 minute, what now I know is yoga nidra. I've been doing this with your body, your guided body release. So I go through the body and just release all the areas of the body, and you just get into that deep, heavy weightlessness that you just feel, oh, you know, and you get up so refreshed. So I'll probably do one of these for you guys and send it out for you on a link somewhere. Yeah, the environment is conducive to rest, even though the body has the other ideas. Yes, you have to create that environment. I was just reading a chat from Deborah saying that. So thanks, Deborah. So yeah, so definitely important to look at that skincare and the sleep. So, but what we want to think about as well, which is nice, is just to have your journal, because we didn't talk about your mindset. We talked about our meditation. We talked about movement. We didn't talk about our mindset in the 3rd M's, where I have a book where I call mind pages, or you could use them as morning pages. I use my book all the time because in the morning I like to get up and just flush my mind. In the UK, it's important to have blackout curtains, yes, during the summer, definitely. So I would use just free writing, intuitive writing. I would like to do some workshops where we do intuitive drawing, where you just let yourself be guided into this sense of just writing. So I want to do a little session of that in a minute. But the next thing I wanted to go through with us is just having a quick assessment as to where we are with our lives right now. Okay, so I'm going to go share again, just very quickly, to this document again, and I'm just going to roll down to our life domain exploration and evaluation. So I'm having a list of life domains here. You all can all hear me because the rain is falling again. Thumbs up. Everybody can hear me? Good. Okay. So our life domains, 1 being really you need to make an immediate change. 10 being everything is hunky-dory, perfect as it is. I am not making any changes. Okay. So you can go through. I'm just going to expand this a little bit. So can you all read this, or are you looking at a small device? You're reading that all right? Let me just see. Somebody's asking me something. Yes. Okay, I got these. Okay. So life domains, I call them at home, at work, and at play, because that's genuinely what it is. At home, our spirituality. So if you just have a notebook and you want to write these down, just take a breath and just go through, and you will say from 1 to 10. You can do it on your phone if you want. Just put a quick note on like a WhatsApp and WhatsApp it to me. Okay. So spirituality, spirit, am I consistent and committed to my spiritual practice? This could be a 10. This could be like, oh my gosh, Carla, you've just reminded me I need to start this back. So I have 1, but I'm not consistent. So that could be maybe a 4 or 5, but I have none. And oh my gosh, I need to instill that. So maybe that's a 1. Okay. Or I'm 8. This is good average, 7, 8. Yeah. Intimate relationships. Intimate relationships can also be that you love and respect those around you, but also do you love and respect yourself? Do you know yourself? Are you taking time with yourself as well? Yeah. Your health and well-being, following your hymns. How are you with that? Yeah. And then so that's your 3 things there, your health and well-being. So you could have out of that 30 marks, you could have out of that 1. Okay. Then we talk about our personal growth. Am I learning and consistently growing personally? That could almost mix into our at home or at work, because most of us, what we work in, is our passion. So we want to know personally, we are preparing ourselves for the task at hand. So for instance, for me to come and work with you guys, I want to grow personally, know about my anatomy, know about ways to express this creatively, know how I'm experiencing it, so I can share with you guys. What is that? What about my career and business? Do I need to make a change, or am I really okay with that? I'm retired, but maybe I have my pension sorted out. Maybe I'm investing, or I'm not investing, or what am I looking for? You know, it doesn't matter that your career and business is over, but what are you doing now in that aspect? I know some of us are in retirement and actually more busy than when we were working in our jobs. Somebody's shaking her head. Some people are shaking their heads. And then we talk about our finances, as I talk about your state of your finances. Are you feeling abundant? You know, are you worrying all the time about it? You know, worrying all the time is saying to God, you know, saying to the divine energy, saying to whoever you believe in, whatever you're believing, is like, I don't trust that I will be okay. I'm not saying to go and spend all your money and say, oh, I just trust it'll fall from a tree. Obviously not, you know, and we will talk about that in a second. But I'm talking about just being aware and managing it. Okay. I mean, you in control of your current state of affairs. Okay. Your confidence. Do you feel creative? And do you feel that you're expressing your unique expression? I know some of us are diversifying from one career, looking at how aspects of that career, and I think we talk about our VIPs and pets when I talk about that, right, Hillary? And we know that we can look at ways in our current business or career, what are our strengths in that area that we can then apply to something which we call maybe a side hustle. Yeah, could be considered a side hustle. Cora's hand is raised, so she wants to say something. Let me just finish that sentence. Yes, Cora, go ahead.
I can only see up to play. Isn't there more
I'm going
To
to
the
come. Yes,
document?
it's just here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. So play is that last one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let me just take the mouse off so this thing will go off, the share thing will go. I don't know if you can see, don't see what I see. Okay, so yes, it's three things: at home, at work, at play. Yeah, and then total scope. So what I'm saying is that you could be diversifying. There's no shame in that. It's okay. You know, you finding your groove. With us at our age, you know, with the world the ways it is, maybe it's a necessity that we need to grow in a different direction. But how are you feeling in that? And then when I talk about the play, are we making time for new experiences? Are we making time for, even if it's a reminiscing in old experiences, right? What is going on with that? And also with our community and engagement, are we in touch? Who needs us? Who needs us in life? Do we have a neighbor that's maybe in trouble? Are they acting out? And we think that, boy, that person miserable, eh? Who knows? They may be struggling with something and they just need us to be open to them. The same way we need to be open to the divine, you know? And then we talk about exercise, where we spoke about that in the hymns, making time to be moving. And then your contribution and your environmental impact. Are we considering the next generation? Are we thinking about how we impact our environment? Because remember that how our environment is with us is impacting our well-being, you know, so how we are settling into that. So some of you may be working in these areas, so they actually work. Some of you may be working in a sense that you're working with environmental protection and working in travel and hospitality. So these things are actually your work, you know, so think about that. So you want a 10 score is perfect. Can you ladies give me a perfect score? Or what can you give me? I don't think anybody's life is perfect, so I wouldn't expect anybody to give me a perfect score. So let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 120 would be full perfect score. What are our scores? About a 70%, 80%. Some would be low, some would be higher. You don't have to share, but you could just make a note of that. You can even do a screenshot if you want, but I'll share this document anyway. Okay. So now once we've done this, ladies, what I'd like to do with us, I also, well, I think I did share already your hymns. Yes, we share that. Let me just stop sharing for a minute. And let me just hear if any of you have anything that you wanted to share on that before we move on to do a little exercise with me. I'm just checking that I'm, everybody okay? Thumbs up. All right. So maybe what we would like to do now is identify, do a little session in a little breath work session, and then we can identify, ladies, in areas that we felt we were not 50% over, 60, 70% over. You know, I know somebody reached out to me, they need more attention to their self-care. Maybe we had something recently that gave us a wake-up call. You know, everybody, you know, this is nothing personal. Something is giving us a wake-up. Where in what I've just spoken to, I think everybody here can register with that. You feel we need to make a major change right away. You know, there may be one area, 2, 3 areas. Let's try one area. You know, you can always do it later, do another 2 or 3 areas that we need to have that. Pam, you wanted to say something, babes?
I think of all the areas, your health has got to be, for me anyway, it's got to be fundamental. And without health, you could forget everything else. So the area of health and well-being, diet and sleep, for me, that is the most important thing. Because I've recently recovered. I mean, I'm still recovering from shingles. And that is caused by, well, having had chickenpox before, but the age factor, stress factor, yeah, is a mega thing. And immunity, compromise. So with all the lockdown we've had, that's obviously had an effect. So I've had all the ingredients for shingles. And I want to warn everybody about shingles because it hurts so much. So if you're in that sort of category where you've had these factors, same age group, had chickenpox, been inside for a lot, and you're stressed with various things, you need to take stock, because Shingles is like labor pain with no delivery date. That's how I describe it. It hurts. So please, 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 your health has got to be first.
Thank you for sharing that, Pam, personal account there. Thank you so much. And it may not be shingles, it may be something else. One of us has, you know, had a wake-up call. Lenora is saying her skincare, she's not been taking care of her skin. Remember, our skin is our largest organ. We know that, right? Our skin is our largest organ. So imagine that we're not even caring for that organ. But we hurt our finger and we're so worried about how we're going to care for that finger. And every day of our lives, our skin is protecting us. We're not doing that. And you'd be surprised. It's no, all what I'm saying here, I can tell you something, ladies, my body brushing and stuff like that. I first started doing these practices and these rituals when I read a book. Oh gosh, what is the name of the book again? God, I even forget the book. I read it when I was about 22 years old. Yeah, and I'm 54 now. And that's when I first started to do those things. Yeah, and it's never too early. It's never too late to do things that you're caring about yourself. Yeah, maybe it's a matter that I'm a little bit more of a vain person. I don't know if you consider that, but I just think that, oh my God, if I look at these fingers, what they can do. When I think what just a finger can do, I just think to the rest of my body, I must celebrate my body with me. You know, if you just think of just how much it takes to swallow your saliva. Do you know how much organs and nerves and brain it takes just to swallow your saliva? I mean, hello, let us celebrate ourselves and take care of ourselves. You know, we don't keep that in mind.
Carla, sorry, I was just going to tell you that my grandmother who died, she was born in 1899. So if she were alive, she'd be 122 now. But she was gorgeous. And she used to say that vanity was the heart's way of reminding you to put yourself first. I thought that was great. She was extremely vain, but in a good way. Like she taught us to, you know, moisturize our skin and take care of our hair. So according to Eleanor Connell Ward, vanity is the heart's way of reminding you to put yourself first.
Exactly.
Don't underestimate it.
Don't underestimate it. And I mean, for some of us who may have children, and I think all of us are beyond that age or not to have children, it's something that we have to think. Some of us are have children. It's really difficult because we know in a day and age like this, we've got to have those children first. You know, we've got to rein them, not rein them in a way that, but we've just got to make them alert of what's can be out there. But in the same way, we're holding their attention for them without trying to translate it to them, you know. So it is, or we may be having the grandchildren that you're having these anxieties with. So we have so much care to give to ourselves, and include the children in the self-care. So they grow up knowing that they should be caring for themselves. Yeah, I'm seeing Fabian smiling because she's saying, "Oh, I must include my daughter." Yes. You know, include them in the self-care. You know, so that they respect what you're doing for yourself. Include their husbands or the partners as well. Let them help you brush your back too, brush theirs too. You know, and vice versa. So, guys, let's just do a quick little breath work and just touch on that area or any area that you feel. Why are you not giving yourself that opportunity? Why are you not giving yourself that time? What is stopping you? Sometimes when you go to do this, you start to think something else, or you don't deserve it. When you go to say something, you think, why are you saying that? Why you believe that? What is it that is getting in our way? Let's just get that mind to body connection and just become aware of what you're feeling in your body. Where are you feeling that? Thank you, Hilary, for that quote. Where are you feeling those sensations when you do that? So I'm just going to go on a speaker view so I can do the meditation. So those on Facebook can follow through with us. Okay, so go ahead and just feel comfortable wherever you are. If you're in your car, pause, stop the car. If you have to go somewhere, well, then don't go close your eyes, okay? But just be comfortable in your body. And just relaxing into your arms, into your shoulders, closing your eyes. Just allow your body to relax there. And breathing in nicely in through the nose. I like to ask people to part their lips like we do in our Pilates sessions. And just allow the tongue to drop from the palate. Feel the relaxation in the face, in the jaw, in the throat. Just sort of bring your eye line to this middle of your forehead. So all you're focusing on is sort of a spot, a nice violet spot in the middle of your forehead. Relaxing your feet there, relaxing your throat, your chest, your shoulders. Relaxing into that. Breathing in and just breathing out completely. Just nice and gentle. And breathing out. Feel even the scalp getting light on your skull. All these worries and tensions in your mind. Just empty them and think of the word release. 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 And as you feel your body relaxing, get the sensation of your body sort of feeling weightless, but at the same time, melted into the chair or the bed or wherever you are. I think a sensation of your body is not really part of you right now. It's melted away. So you just feel your soul. You just feel your heartbeat and your soul. And I'm going to ask you to bring to mind that one area or two areas that you keep stumbling on. When you think of that, just think of a word for it. Give it a word. Give it a word. What is the word for it? And as you breathe out, listen, listen, listen. Where is that coming from? Do you feel it in the neck? Where do you feel it? Where is that spot of anxiety, overwhelm? Where is that stress feeling? The knot, where is it releasing from? What is a word you can give it? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it regret? Is it procrastination? Overwhelm, maybe? What's the word you can use for that sensation? I don't have time, maybe it's a phrase. Feel where you're holding that. Just feel that. And just relax into it now. Whisper it to yourself. Just say, I release it. I release you. And say it. I release you, overwhelm. I release you, anger. I release you, frustration. I release you. I know you are there. Say these words to yourself. I'm aware you are there. And I'm going to use you. I'm going to use that experience that's come up in my mind, where that came from. Where is that coming from? I'm going to open myself to using that as a stepping stone to be stronger, to be more committed, to be more successful, to be more calm, to be more accepting, to be more open, to be more engaged with how I can use all my strengths to better serve my purpose. Taking a deep breath, becoming more aware of ourselves again. Just becoming more aware of ourselves. Can we ask ourselves, this thing that I want to do that I've been stopping from doing, why do I want to do it? Why do I want to accomplish this? Why do I want to be that person? Choose a question and answer it. Why do I want this? How will I feel when I've accomplished this, when I start doing this? When I develop in that area of my life, how will I feel? What will my life look like? These are loaded questions, ladies. So let's just make little circles with our eyes behind our eyelids. Let's wake up our arms, our hands, and take a deep breath. Let's take another deep breath. Beautiful. And if we have some pen and paper, okay, let us write down for me what it is you were feeling there. Is it a domain in your life, a specific area? The document I shared with you, it has the areas. Where it is, what were you feeling? Okay, what is it that you wrote down that you want to do? In what area? If you scroll down in the document, you will also find that I have also asked you about your feelings. Okay, you might want to feel, where is the feeling? Where is the feeling that you were feeling? Go ahead and take a couple of minutes to write that down and feel into it. What did I feel? What was the word that I came up with? Where did I feel that feeling? Yeah, this is the awareness exercise I'm sharing on the screen. How do I feel around it? Why am I stopping doing what I'm doing? Apprehension. Apprehension, yes. Somebody says they feel a lot of apprehension. Are you aware of how you were holding that in your body? Did you feel that? It's amazing, isn't it? How you're holding these tensions in your body. How can we release these? So much to write about in that. Just write intuitively. Don't overthink it. You may take the first question last, the last question first. There are many questions. You know, what is an opposite word for apprehension? Maybe an opposite word for what you were writing. Just keep writing and you can just listen and write, or you can just ignore me and write. You know, what then could be a positive to the negative that you felt? Yeah. So when we are aware that this apprehension is grabbing us in our neck and throat, literally we are feeling strangled. Can't breathe. Headaches, tension. How can that be healthy or comfortable? You know? Are we getting a lot down? We want to move to the positives now. The positive words that we can, what's an opposite of apprehension? I love a thesaurus. you know, or fear, anger. What is it that you were feeling? Yes, yes. Assurance, definitely. Can we write down some opposites to that on our paper? Some positives. Confidence, yeah. Writing down the opposites to that. Okay, I'm getting another message. Determination. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting word. Nothing will deter you from what you plan to do, right? Motivation. Yes. What was your negative, Cora and Leonora? You want to put your negatives for us, just to see what you were feeling? If you want to share, obviously, you don't have to share. Yes. Or you can tell me directly. Okay.
A certain level of anxiety, sometimes related to COVID-19, despite the fact that we are in the nature island and we have had no death. Sometimes when I go out, I see people with their mask below their chin, on top of their head, and I feel, ow, and I have to sort of control myself and not say anything. I felt I was getting too involved when I went out and saw
Yeah.
people not well, to my mind, obeying the protocols, so to speak. Um, um, on a personal level, I feel some of my business goals are kind of scattered. I'm not focused enough,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'm not as motivated as I should be.
Yeah. So what do you feel would what I mean, this goes for all of us. I'm sure we are all, I'm as you say that, and I'm immediately feeling the sensation as well. Yeah. And of this, oh my God, pull it up, pull it up. Pull up, stand back, or people come close to tell you something, I'm like pushing them away, it's like hands off, and it does sort of, because it's like, yeah, it's a stress. You're protecting yourself. But what do you think? You have two things you said there, and I'm sure it looks like the sharing, because we can all learn from each other. Two things you said there. You can't just stay a hermit in your house, but I guess you can lead by example, and you put your mask on. And I have to say that I am sort of hopefully a recovering control freak and a recovering perfectionist. So my mantra, after I had so much time just keeping my tail quiet, after my surgery, I get this mantra, everybody, although I knew this mantra from before, everybody's just doing their best right now. The best that they know. It's a Maya Angelou, right? When you know better, you do better. Yes. So everybody's just doing their best right now is what I put in my mind. I'm going to wear my mask and do what I know is to do best. Right. And the same thing with our finances. Maybe this is a nice opportunity for us to say, okay, let us unscatter that, with our focus on our finances, or our whatever it is we're doing with our finances, income, investments, whatever it is, or circumstances. How can we focus in? Where do we need to focus? I believe that also in this document, I may have a little goal settling area that's just after the manifesto. I have put it in there just so that you can then make some goals to do with that. And maybe if you want, we can just go through that, because we're out of time now. I did say 75 minutes. So what I'm going to do just very quickly is do that one more page with you. And those who want to stay on and give me do another 10 minutes or something just to do the goals, we can actually do that if you want. Okay. So just one last exercise, which is really worth doing while we are together, is I'm going to share. We had a couple of people had to leave, so I thank them for joining. But I'm going to share the screen again. And this maybe guide you in what you were just writing. You don't have to do this now. You have the paper, the download. I'm going to email it to you ladies, whoever has given me their downloads. Okay, and basically what you want to do is you want to take a little breath, and you want to have a chance to look at your notes, your doodles, whatever you did, and say, I am aware that, and then finish that sentence. A little bit like what I asked you when you were in your silence. I am connecting with, or I am connecting to, so that I am. So with respect to the masking or the anxiety or the apprehension, the pain in the neck, I'm aware that I hold my neck and shoulders really tight because I feel apprehensive about my next move with X, Y, and Z. Say to yourself. So I'm going to connect with the idea that I can release that apprehension and feel confident, or feel determined, or feel excited, and feel that I've got this, because I know I can release myself. I can release because I trust myself. I completely trust myself that I can handle this. So I completely trust myself that I am doing it. So you can use this template. And then the last thing would be to write out, those of you who've done this with me before, have seen this before, knowing what is available to me, I am surrendering to managing my finances so that I am living this life, planning my expenses, my income, my finances, so that my life looks like this. Yeah. I know I am surrendering to the divine, because I know on January 1st, 2022, my life will be blah, 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 blah. Yes, will be beautiful, will be resolved. I would have gone forward with my projects. Choose what it is. I'm going to give you a couple minutes just to see if you can write something through there. It doesn't have to be complete, just needs to be whatever you can put, because I would love you to share that with the ladies afterwards. So I'm going to put this whole screen, I'm just going to get that screen a little smaller so that I can have all of it written there for you to see. Okay, so we're thinking about our manifesto. Okay, developing our manifesto. And these are the questions. Using the word I am also insinuates that you are taking action and keeping the momentum with that action. I am. So start your sentence with I am. And let's say one more minute, and then we can, a couple of you can share, or you can share, and let's see how you feel with that. Exactly. Everyone operates from their level of consciousness. When you know better, you do better. Maya Angelou as well. It's wonderful to see you ladies just writing away. It's gorgeous. Beautifully done. So can I close this page now? Can I stop sharing this page? You'll have seen this, okay? We come back to the screen. And you will let me know if any of you want to share that, because the next page that I gave you all would be to write out your manifesto, which you could do afterwards when you have had a chance to go through your notes and to create a beautiful manifesto. You can also create a one in a Word document and put some pictures to it as a way almost to have like a vision statement or a vision board or a vision post, something that you can also put on your phone. You know, you can create a small version that you can do a screenshot on your phone that reminds you every day what you're supposed to be doing. You can save it on your phone as your screen lock. Yeah. So I would say to you, you know, just create something that you can write your own manifesto on to do something beautiful for yourself. Okay. So basically from that, what you're trying to do is just have a one pager, and I even left it blank, no lines, that you can just go and make it beautiful if you want. Something that you can then laminate even and put it on your door. Yeah, you can scan it, put it on areas where you want to remind you. What is your manifesto? It could just be a mission statement. It could be a vision statement, maybe 4 or 5 words, I am, whatever. It could be a paragraph. It could be a story. It could be a poem. It could be pictures. It can be anything you want. Okay, this is your thing. It doesn't have to be anything I say. Okay. It could be your dream home that you want to put up on that thing, you know, on there. It can be your dream project, your dream, your mission that you want to accomplish. You know, start putting that out there. Attract it for yourself. Think it to the positive. Put it only in positives. Forget about the negatives now. We're forgetting about all those negatives, and we just want to be positive. I am. This is what I am. I am already. You know, somebody told me the other day, I am, you know, I am down. I said, I didn't know you were down. I thought your name was Gabrielle. Oh, what you know, you shouldn't negate the fact that I'm feeling down. You are feeling down right now, but you are not down. That's not who you are. Yeah. So let's not trivialize our mental health issues, mental health challenges, issues, circumstances, or conditions. There's a whole spectrum of what happens with our mental health, just like our physical health. You know, we think once we say mental health, something has to be wrong with us. No, mental health can mean that it's good. You know, what is our circumstance right now? So put it in the positive. Let's always bring in positive to us, remind ourselves of the positivity. All right. So does anybody want to share what they came up with? Yeah. No, nobody wants to share.
Well, with me, Carla, I could say that one of my things that for my not having self-care is that, or my lack of self-care is that I have this fear, or say a mistrust, that if I am not in the office, things go wrong. When I'm not around, everything will go wrong. And so you put that pressure on yourself that you have to be there, that you have to be around people, you have to make sure things are happening, that things are, you know, are working out. And it's always this fear, if I'm not there, it's not going to happen that way, you know. Yeah. So for me, I have to develop that level of, you know, trusting and confidence that, you know, things can, you know, things will work itself out, or things will be okay. And I have to bring myself to that level of mentally, that to understand that, you know, I don't have to put that pressure and the stress on myself to make sure that everything, you know, that you have to be around all the time. So that actually cuts back into my own time for myself, because I feel pressured that I have to be, to make sure things are happening and things are working out as I want them to work out, kind of stuff.
No, I hear you loud and clear. And if I may just speak to this point with you, Christine, because the others may not know everything about you. Well, I don't know everything about you, but the issue is that, first of all, you've been in hospitality industry for many years. And now you are still in the hospitality and service industry, but you now have a retirement home, or not a retirement, but for seniors, a place for seniors. So you are in the industry where you have constantly indoctrinated your system to overgive, over-deliver, because that is natural in the hospitality industry. So it's very difficult for you, and especially in a small organization, a small company where you are the owner and manager. Yeah. So, I mean, speaking to this, Christine, it is totally understandable. So 2 things we have to say, and I remember my first husband always telling me, CYA. It's called cover your ass. Always leave a paper trail. So I developed a system where I would have an open book, and I would have a time and what had happened and a follow-up, so that if I ever dropped dead, anybody could come to that book and know what I had done and what I was in the process of doing. So it meant that something could go on. Okay. Now we also have to realize, because we are overgivers, we tend to be control freaks. And once we have a SOP, a standard operating procedure, that everybody knows about, that we spend time on, and I know you have some assistance with a pretty lady next to you here on my screen, to really thrash out these SOPs. And that goes with everybody that's here, because the standard operating procedure can go for your home, can go for a building project, can go for anything you're doing, for child rearing. Okay, guys, this is the standard operating procedure. This is bedtime. This is not bedtime. This is what we do on Monday, Sunday, Tuesday. Because everybody knows it's on the same page, then you can feel more confident to surrender and know that they will take care of it. And you know something? Nobody knows what's in your mind, Christine. You are the only one knows how perfect you want that to be. Nobody else is going to expect it that way. So if it falls 10 points short, nobody will know that it fell short. Nobody will know. I keep reminding myself, unless you tell them, nobody will know. So give yourself a break, girlfriend. Challenge them, challenge them. And, if somebody dies in the process, guess what? We all have to die sometime. It's not going to be your fault. It's not going to be your fault. But don't be killing yourself over it, right? I'm not laughing at you, babes. I'm laughing because I know the whole scenario. I'm thinking, you must be saying to yourself, this is really ridiculous of me to be. So
I do understand what you said, because it's so inculcated into you that, want to just make sure everything is the way you expect it, you want it to be, and so you drive yourself out there to make sure that everybody's happy and everyone is well taken care of, but you forget yourself, You
forget yourself. Forget yourself. So I know a couple other people want to say something. I don't want to overtalk. So anybody else have a share? Thank you so much for sharing, Chris.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I need to polish up mine, but it was, why is this low battery? Sorry. It was more about the control freak element, yes, of leaders, people who are in control of, they're leading on different things, and you're probably the eldest in your family, and you're probably the matriarch now, and, but we tend to take on all the responsibilities and hold them, not trusting others to do their part. And what you said, what just resonated with me is that standard operating procedure is something I definitely need to put in place.
Yeah.
Pronto. For me, that's, the biggest thing I've taken away from this session is that. So thank you very much. That's something I need to work on, because I am carrying personally too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you write it down, Pam, and you can share that with your family. It's completely objective, they can then see, okay, I can understand that. Okay, this is what I can take off your plate, mom, or honey, or granny, oh, I didn't realize, granny, that's how it affected you, and that's how it affected your schedule. I promised to be a good boy from so-and-so, So yeah, this writing it down is a big, big, big one. Okay, ladies? So some of us have to go. It's now 9 o'clock. So we've been on 10 o'clock, and I said to you, we'll be finished by 9:45. So I know we've gone a little bit over. So I just want to close off the stop share on the Facebook and just quickly say goodbye to the Facebook. And then if any of you wanted me to give you 5 minutes just to cover on something as we haven't covered, just let me say goodbye on the Facebook, okay? So for those of us who are watching on Facebook, we're just going to close off now. And thank you for joining us. And leave your comments, even if you're watching that after. Just play #replay and leave your comments so I know when you managed to see this recording. All right. So I am going to, I think I have to stop the sharing now. Stop live stream. Yes. That's good. All right. So I'm back with you, ladies. And maybe we can also, I'm going to stop the recording as well. So thank you for joining me here on the recording.